out with the girls.
Hanging out with the girls. Yeah. I won't even ask you the question everybody wants to know.
Which is what?
Well, no, because I just
Now
now you want to know.
No,
We'll ask you
for commercial.
Yes, I will. So what's new, babe?
Well, I'm actually on strict orders from my father. My father was given an honorary Academy Award.
Fine.
Oh, great.
Do you call him the Donald?
No, we do not. We call him Dad. And Whoopi gave a speech in the presentation of this award. And he was so moved by it, and he knew you and I were friends.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring my phone out because it was quite a long text that he gave me, but it's actually unfortunately in the car. But he really wanted me to tell you thank you, and it was such a nice night. And actors like my father, they don't work for awards, and they don't work for that kind of thing. No. But when you actually have a moment where you are honored by your peers and people you respect and people that you admire, it's profound how much that matters. And your speech, he just said, you have to thank her. And he gave me a list. He gave me a list of things that I had to tell you, and I will tell you later. But on behalf of my father and the rest of my family, thank you for your beautiful speech.
Thanksgiving coming up. You grew up in Canada, but you raised your kids here. Are you one of those families that do a big thing for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and we always have. In fact, we shoot Designated Survivor in Toronto, and Canadian Thanksgiving is in October because it's
so you get two?
A little colder there.
Yeah.
No, because they don't honor the American Thanksgiving, obviously. So it's the first 2 years that I've missed it. But our family is quite spread around, and it's the one time that we all come together. And the most fun I think we ever had, my youngest daughter Sarah went to university here. What's that?
Beautiful name.
Yeah.
Cheers. She went to university here in New York, and so we all came here. And we would have these amazing Thanksgivings that took a week to recover from. And but it was fantastic. And so yeah, I think for me, even more than Christmas, it was the holiday that the family really came together for.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know what else I love? Designated Survivor.
Oh, thank you.
It's back for its second season, and of course you play President Kirkman, a man who never planned to have the job. Now, earlier we were talking about whether or not morality is required in a leader. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think morality is required for life. I think it's... And for anybody who doesn't think that, they should look up the word. Morality is the basis of every decision that you make.
Yes.
It is the moral compass that you have that teaches you or represents what you believe to be right or wrong.
Yeah.
So the idea that you can function without it is really concerning.
Yes, to
Boy,
say
it's
the
kind of
least.
low these days, isn't it?
I wouldn't want to limbo.
We have
Good one.
We have a clip. What are we going to see about Designated Survivor? The clip that you brought.
Well, see him doing the limbo.
This is a clip, I believe, from episode 10, which is going to air not this week, but the week after. And the president goes to Afghanistan to acknowledge the troops, and a certain number of things happen to make the episode exciting.
Oh, let's take a look.
What the hell was that? Mr. President, we have to go now. Assemble up the command team. Air Force One prepared for departure. Was the base hit?
No, sir. Suicide bomber level a market a few miles away. It was a coordinated attack. CIA State House was also raided.
American casualty.
4 of our agents are dead, sir.
Was Kevin Dean one of them?
They think he got out. He was seen leaving the back of the safe house.
Is there any way we can reach him?
No, sir.
Mr. President, we need to get you on this plane right now.
Wow.
And for people who may not know what the Designated Survivor is, explain to the...
Well, it's interesting because I can't even figure out why I actually knew this when I read the script.
Right.
I watch a lot of the History Channel, and for some reason I did. But in the line of succession for the presidency, in case of a catastrophe, and this was written into the Constitution, and I think they were really worried about fires 200 years ago. That the Congress House was built out of wood, and if there was another revolution or something were to happen, and everybody in the standing government was wiped out, they would have one representative that was not allowed at the meeting, so that they would continue the presidency. And we've done this, I think, really out of respect for our history, not ever imagining that something like that could happen. In the case of our show, a terrible bombing does take place at the Capitol building, wipes everybody out, and my character becomes president overnight.
So if it happened, God forbid, here, Sean Spicer would be the designated survivor.
No, he would not.
He's not allowed in the meeting.
Actually, it would be Ben Carson. It would be Ben Carson.
Oh, no, not Dr. Carson.
Oh, my God.
It would be Dr. Carson.
Is there anything, in doing the show, someone told me that you learned something about George Washington that was interesting. Do you remember what it was?
Well, we have an amazing set. And I have to say, when you walk into the Oval Office, it still makes you stand up straight, even though it's not the real one. But the history, the reverence that you have for that office is, and there are paintings all over, and our production people are fantastic that design this, and they tell you stories about everything. But George Washington was quite a romantic guy after his wife passed away. And so was the only...
Is that what they called it then?
Yes. And so was the only painter in Washington. And they competed for a lot of the same girls.
Really?
And George Washington had fake teeth, but he was actually quite handsome. But the painter would only do his portrait if he put his wooden teeth in,
really?
which made his face change and made him less attractive. And so I always thought that was really funny.
You know, it's competition no matter where you go.
That's right.
You know, Kiefer, you're always welcome here. We just love hanging with you. When is the band coming back, too?
Well, thank you very much. Whenever you want us.
Don't even say that, because it's going to happen sooner than you think. Thanks to Kiefer Sutherland. Don't play the music. Designated Survivor airs Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. right here. We'll be right back.